Alright guys, what's up here? I was doing a lot of testing and finding out a bunch of things, but I'm going to take a break from that now. I'm going to show you guys some of the training options they have in Street Fighter V, because in the first beta in Street Fighter V, they didn't have too many options, you know, your standard stuff like setting the dummy to crouch or jump, and they didn't even have a recording option. Now we do have a recording option that's set in the game. We even have a CPU, which is actually pretty crazy in this game. But anyways, what I wanted to talk about specifically is these new options. Record wake-up options and record guard recovery actions. And this is something we didn't even have in Street Fighter 4. And I just want to give you guys some examples on how this could be really useful and really save us a lot of time in testing out things, because in Street Fighter 4, people had to come up with these really weird like ways of testing these things out because the options weren't in the game. Some pretty clever things, but nonetheless, it wasn't like completely practical all the time, and it was really hard to test out a lot of stuff like wake up options. So anyways, let's just try this out. So you go to record wake up actions, and I'm sure when the final game comes out too, we'll have even more options in the training mode, which we need because, you know, Capcom wants this game to be super competitive. So we have interval settings. This is basically how long, it's like a timer that ticks down until you perform the action you want. So let's just say we set it to 3, which was the default, and you go to recording slot 1, and you'll see Ken is lying on the ground, and you'll see a timer tick on the top middle, and then that's how long you have to perform your action. So what's a common thing someone would do basically when they get knocked down? They'll usually try to throw you, mash jab out, or like backdash or something, or sometimes they'll jump. So let's start with that. So record, I'm just going to hold up with Ken. He gets up, and there you go, jump. So then we get out of this, and then we go to set wake up actions, and then you simply just turn it on 1, because we recorded in slot 1, and thus we turn on recording slot 1. So let's just restart here. So now whenever Ken gets knocked down, he'll do the action that I recorded. So if I sweep him, all of a sudden Ken jumps. There you go. So let's say in a practical match here, I sweep Ken and I try to throw him. Well, I can't because he's holding up, right? So this is a way for us to experiment with ways to punish people from choosing this option. So for Ryu, I guess I would try to look for like a big meaty, right? In case you guys don't know what a meaty is, it's basically hitting someone with the tail end of your attack. In this case, when Ken's waking up. So we gotta look for something that's like out there for a really long time. I think Ryu's back hard kick would be a good idea. So let's try that. So we're gonna sweep Ken, and we're just gonna go back hard kick. And as you can see, Ken gets hit because he was holding up. So that's basically like a punish right there. So you can do like back hard kick, you know, the uppercut, or do like a hard combo or whatever. I really don't know what Ryu has. It's been nerfed so hard in this version. But anyways, that's just like a really small example. So let's try something else this time. Let's set Ken to wake up and throw, because that's like another really common thing people do. So we can record another recording slot. Let's go into number 2. So we'll set the interval to 1 because, you know, we don't need that much time to just press throw. So I gotta time it now. And you can see the timer said 0. I think I did it too fast. That's like 0 frame timing. Most of the time people are just gonna mash throw. I don't think their time is gonna be that perfect, but whatever. So turn this off, turn this on. So let's just try it out. Let's see if the dummy does it. Okay, he doesn't. So if I try to throw when he gets up, obviously it'll tech a throw, right? So let's try the same thing, right? Let's see back hard kick beats it. Of course it does because it's already active, it's already out. But let's try like a faster attack, like Ryu standing medium punch, for example. Still get it. And you'll also notice that I got a counter hit from that, because in Street Fighter V now, on the very first frames of your throw, it's a counter hit now. So we probably want to use something like Ryu's crush counter, right? So Ryu's standing hard kick. So let's try that. Get the crush counter, right? So that's a really hard punish for someone who is, you know, mashing throw, right? I'm not really sure what Ryu can do now after that, but he can't combo to his forward hard punch anymore, but you guys get the idea. So let's mess around with something else now. Okay, start recording 3. Now let's do a backdash. 0 frame time. Man, my time is just godlike. I'm getting this all on my first try. Believe me, guys, when I was doing this before, I was not getting it my first try. So anyways, turn this off, set this on, because I was in recording slot 3. And then backdash, make sure Ken does it. Okay, good. And then, you know, let's just hit him with like a jab or something. He gets knocked up in the air. You guys notice that once again, there's a counter hit because in Street Fighter V, you actually also get counter hits on the startup frames of your backdash. So man, backdash's got a lot of weaknesses to attacks now. But anyways, let's try the crush counter again. So that's not hard kick. Notice that he was in the air. It's because, you know, he's considered airborne, just like the jab. So I can just do like an uppercut. I think I could do like an uppercut. I'll give it one shot. That's like a lot of damage, right, for someone mashing backdash. Of course, Ken will backdash one more time. Okay, so a lot of these are really important because it's good to have a game plan after you knock down your opponent. So anyways, another thing too, guys, is that, you know, Street Fighter V doesn't have too many, you know, hard knockdowns. So you want to test out a lot of different ways on when they're waking up. So one thing you can do is set the recovery, which is on no recovery right now. You can set it to like, you know, specifically when they wake right up, they go straight up, or when they, you know, slide backwards. The 2 different recoveries in the game. Or you can set it to random, so it's like unpredictable how Ken wakes up, right? It could be a hard knockdown, or he could get up right away like this. So that's something you have to consider too. But for the sake of this video, let's just set it to no recovery. Anyways, let's do something crazy. Let's make Ken actually do an uppercut this time. The scary stuff. So, let's go to recording slot 4. So make sure it says reversal on the screen, like it just did. Really important, so your timing is good on that. I think it said like 2 frames or 2 milliseconds or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you get the reversal window. So, let's turn on recording 4. So that was a hard version of Ken's uppercut. Do Ken's hard uppercut. There you go. Okay, so let's try something crazy. Let's try doing a melee attack when Ken wakes up. Let's see if it's actually invincible on the ground. Of course, I already know the answer to this, but let's do this. And as you guys can see, he isn't. So you don't have to be too scared. Well, it's more about the Ken player knowing that he can't really wake up with a hard punch uppercut. It's not the best idea, especially if I time my knees. But this is really important. This is what I mean to test things out, right? So you can learn your opponent's options and come up with your game plan. Because these attacks I'm doing are beating out all these options I've just shown you. You know, doing a medium punch or a back hard kick, right? The back hard kick still works. It's like trading. Okay, it still works. Okay. Whew. I was scared there. Anyways, let's do something. Like, you can test out your crush counters here this way too if you just block it. But you don't really need the wake up recovery recording thing for that. Anyways, let's get Ken this time. We'll go to recording slot 4 again. And we'll do a medium uppercut. I didn't get a reversal there, so let's try again. There we go. Okay. And make sure it's on still. Okay. So Ken's medium uppercut is invincible, so this won't work. He'll beat me every time. Let's say I did my own uppercut. It's got a lot of invincibility. Try a jump. So nothing seems to really beat it. You just have to bait it out. Let's try EX. Okay, there we go. So, making sure it's working. Alright, so let's try our melee again. Starts up so fast. So this seems to work. Of course, Ken does that meter for it. But anyways, guys, yeah, just wanted to show you guys a quick bunch of examples on the wake up. So let's move on to the next thing here. So let me turn this stuff off. Actually, what I should... You guys are probably wondering why there's multiple recording slots and why they're all, like, you can turn multiple ones on. The reason is simple. If you want to find out an option that eliminates as many options as possible, this is how you can do it. So remember, the first recording slot was, I think it was jump, and then it's, or was it throw or jump? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, it was jump. Okay, I'm not going crazy. It's jump. The second one we set to throw, and then the third one we set to backdash. Okay, so when we have all three of these on, and then I knock down Ken, he'll actually do one random option that I set. So he's either gonna throw, he's either gonna jump, or he's either gonna backdash. One of the three things we programmed. He keeps doing throw for some reason. There we go. Wow, that was crazy bad luck. Look at that RNG, man. He did throw like so many times in a row. But trust me, guys, I'm waiting for him to jump once here, so we can prove that it's all three. There we go, man. But anyways, yeah, it's completely random. So, like I said, let's do the media option, and it should beat all three options. Is basically what I'm saying. So back hard kick, right? It'll beat the jump, backdash. It doesn't matter. This is really, really important, guys. Okay. So that's it for wake up options. So let me turn these all off. And then now the guard actions. So this is when your opponent comes back to neutral from blocking. So when you're pressuring your opponent, basically the things that he can do to counter you when he's under pressure. I guess the most common thing someone would do, especially in Street Fighter V right now, is mash crouching light punch, right? I know that drives a lot of you crazy. So let's test that out. So what happens is you'll hit the recording and you'll see Ken block, and then he'll block an imaginary attack, and then the thing will say go, and then you press the button you want. So in this case, I'm gonna press crouching light punch, and it didn't come out because my timing was too fast. There we go. So let's go to set recovery actions and turn it on, and just make sure it works. Well, it's not gonna work because I gotta set the dummy to block the attack. So go to guard, guard all. All right. And there you go. Ken will do a crouching light punch. So let's say we're trying to do a tick throw setup here. We'll go crouching light punch twice, and we'll try to throw Ken. Okay. He keeps hitting me. He's just mashing jab too hard. Nothing could stop him. Okay. In this case, we're gonna have to test out frame traps. That's the best way to do it. So let's try. We'll go into standing medium punch. Okay. So we'll try crouching light kick twice into standing medium punch. So he hits me. Try a crouching light kick once and then standing medium punch. Still hits me. I'm definitely at negative here. Let's try a crouching light punch in the standing medium punch. Boom. There we go. Frame trap. So then I don't know with Ryu, if I go crouching light punch, if I do a standing medium, I'm at advantage. It'll be a frame trap. Perfect. And you see how like this recording option, like it speeds things up. Like you learn so fast. Just from saving so much time, right? So you get the dummy to do exactly what he wanted to do, where you're not like, you know, you don't need your friend over all the time to test the stuff out for you, and it's always like frame perfect the way you recorded it, right? So this is really important stuff to know. Okay, what else can we get Ken to do now? Let's make Ken mash out a dragon punch this time. So let's set him to do a medium dragon punch, because that's the invincible one. And as you see, there's a reversal window. Make sure you get that reversal window in. Okay, now, so if I hit Ken with an attack, he mashes out a dragon punch. So we can find out things like what things are safe, for example. Like if I go like medium punch into fireball, can I block it? Is he in range to do the uppercut? Doesn't seem to be. If I go crouching medium kick, I am though. There's a gap in between. See what I mean? if he was mashing it out, this is not actually safe. What if I try crossing up Ken? I do a cross up medium kick, and I do like a standing medium punch. Is there a gap in between? There is, but let's try to hit him deeper this time. There isn't, right? So it's important, like this will adjust your timing too, so that you know there's no gaps in your strings, right? Or you can just use light attacks, for example. I think that actually... But anyways, that's just like a small example using that. Okay, let's hit Ken to do an EX Dragon Punch this time. Okay, so we're gonna try the same thing again. Let's see what's actually safe if we, you know, buffer a normal into a special with Ryu, for example. So I'm trying to block, so it's punishable. Let's try going at max range with a crouching medium. And go straight through. This is good to know as a Ken player too, right? Let's say I was actually a Ken main and I wanted to test it out. I would reverse the characters like this. Still not so damn. Let's try a light fireball. So Ken's EX Dragon Punch is actually really good. Yeah, man. It's just like a gap in between. It's crazy. Okay, so anyways, that's the guard options and the wake up options. So, you know, I'm just showing really basic examples, but people are going to come up with a lot of cool stuff. And of course, you're going to be able to save these things, so you'll be able to have like your own template of things that you need to test right away. So if you're starting a new character, you know, obviously you're going to want to, you know, learn what to do when they're knocked down, all your setups, what your moves are like unsafe, and all those kinds of things. So I just wanted to show some, you know, basic stuff. So let's look at some other things. Well, let me turn these off. So once again, you can set multiple ones and have them do a random thing after guarding, right? Just like the wake up options. Okay, so everything is off. Alright, so we have the recording options. This was also in Street Fighter 4. But there is one thing that they did add that is very helpful and saves us a lot of time and allows us to do some cool things like some training regimens, but I'll show you in a second here. So first recording, you just hit it. Interval settings is basically how long before the recording starts, or you can just set the button input. Button input means that as soon as you press a button, that's when the recording starts. And then automatic is, you know, when you use the intervals. So anyways, let's get started. So it's waiting, and then we're gonna test out Ryu's anti-air. So we're just gonna have a jumping hard kick with Ken. And then just hold block, and then that's it. So then we go to playback and turn it on, and then here's the interval again. This is how long before the dummy does the recording. Let's just give it a second. 1 second is good. So we start after he does his action, does the whole recording, and then I'll start again. So let's find out what's an anti-air for Ryu. Is it standing light kick? Nope. Obviously it's not. Crouching hard punch? There we go. Standing hard kick? Nice. Uppercut, obviously. And that's just, you know, your normal thing. You don't need to, like, read up what your character's anti-air is. You can just go figure it out for yourself, right? And that's how people do find out most of these things. So, what else should we test here? Let's test something a little more complicated, because when you have the recording options, you can get them to do a lot of stuff for a long period of time. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do like a little cross-up setup. So let's set the dummy. I'll get Ken and go crouching leg kick twice. Let's get him a little closer. There we go. And then cross up Ryu. So like I said, a little bit more complicated, but it is a very common scenario that happens online. So let's just get Ken in position here. Block twice, and he crosses me up, okay? So how do we anti-air Ken? How do we stop him from hitting us like this? because otherwise he's just gonna keep doing it over and over again. That's usually what happens online. So let's try an uppercut. Can't do it because he's crossing me up, right? So I have to autocorrect it, like that, for example. So I can test my autocorrect DPs, for example. Let's try something crazy. Let's try standing light punch with Ryu, because you see it hits kind of high, like that, right? So let's try this out. Seems to beat it, right? So it's cool little things like that where you can just remake the scenario. Like, let's say some Ken player was doing this online, right? And he's just stomping you, just jumping constantly, doing the same pattern. Well, you could just look up your replay and then just redo it yourself and record it and then find out ways to stop it. Okay, let's try doing Ryu's crouching medium kick. Like, instead of just stopping, let's try to avoid it. So, crouching medium kick, just he misses me completely, and then I just throw him. Okay, so basically just use your imagination, right? And that's something you could do in Street Fighter 4. But the last thing I want to show you guys here that you couldn't do in Street Fighter 4 is set up multiple recordings at once, like I was showing you guys before those other things. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make like a training regimen. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Ken to jump at random times and test our reactions for anti-air every time. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come up with 3 different like things Ken's going to do and to trick me, not knowing exactly when he's going to jump. So I'll just show you guys because I'm not explaining this well. So anyways, I record with Ken and then jump hard kick. Okay? Then I'll do a second recording where Ken will do just crouch. He'll just flinch, okay? So it makes you flinch, so you don't know if he's jumping or not. And then recording 3, he'll flinch once and then he'll jump. Oh, I recorded that bad. Like that, okay? So now we have 3 different scenarios, and then we don't know exactly when Ken's gonna jump at me. So I turn all 3 of these on, okay, with 0 warning. And then now Ken's gonna do one of these 3 things randomly. So I don't know exactly when he's gonna jump at me. So it allows me to, like, you know, test out my reaction time to make sure I anti-air every time, right? And when Ken crouches, it makes me flinch. Well, it makes me flinch. I don't know about you guys, but like I'm getting old, so it's getting harder for me to anti-air every time. But let's say I'm not fast enough, right? Let's say my reaction time's not good enough. I'm like, I don't know when he's gonna jump, and I just do it too slow, okay? Then just use like crouching hard punch. It's faster, it's easier. And then you can just, once you get better at it, you can just start using, you know, Dragon Punch. But this is just like a small thing I just came up, like, you know, in my head to just train something. And it's really useful because if you need something to train specifically, like anti-air and every time, you don't want the CPU just beating you down with all this stuff. You want to train, like, I just want to train the opponent jumping at me at random times. That's how you can do it. I could set 5 different recordings, right, and get Ken to do all these weird things and jump at random moments, right? I was just giving you guys a small example. So I just wanted to show you guys basically the potential of this, and I'm sure Capcom's going to add more things to training options, and training mode is just so important. And a lot of people think that, like, oh, you know, training mode is just, you're wasting so much time, right? But the thing is the more options you add to training modes, the more time you're going to save, because you're going to be learning way faster than you normally do. So, like I said, I just want to show you guys what this is all about. Let me know what you think and what things you think Capcom should add to your training, to the training mode in the future. Peace, guys.